I'm really starting to wonder why I'm subjecting myself to this horrific excuse for a TV show. Um, Obviously, I mean, I love Power Rangers, don't get me wrong, everyone knows that already. But what is Saban doing with this one? I mean, I've stated several times before, I mean, we need more action. Use more stock footage if you have to from the Japanese show because we don't care about these characters. You're not making us care about these characters. You're just making us laugh at them. Especially when it comes to the ass clowns Victor and Monty. Thankfully, the last couple of episodes they've had minimal involvement um, in the story, but they're still opening with these ass clowns and they're still ending the episode with these ass clowns. I wish I had the ability of instant transmission like Goku, so I could just warp to the writers and shove a final flash up their asses or something. Because this is ridiculous. Um, I dare say that the episodes are getting better as they're going along, but they're really not. Um, Today we're going to talk about Power Rangers Ninja Steel, episode 11, Poisonous Plots. In this episode, they have a teapot monster. You heard that right, a teapot monster that poisons people. Um, in this episode, he poisons the Red Ranger Brody, and Galvanax's right hand, the monster Konoichi, uh, with the rabbit face, uh, has the antidote for the poison, and basically wants to barter uh, the antidote for the Rangers Ninja Stars. Now, this is the one thing that's starting to bug me. I mentioned before, where is the threat from these monsters? They don't seem to be after Earth in any way, shape, or form. They don't seem to be wanting to destroy Earth like many of the other monsters before, or take over the Earth, or overrun the Earth, or whatever have you. They just want these. They just want the Rangers' powers. They just want the Ninja Steel, the Ninja Stars. So they're not after Earth. They're just after the Rangers. So theoretically, if the Rangers wanted to save the planet like they think they're doing, just give them your power stars. Or why don't you leave the planet? You have Zords, you can go to a different planet. Take the fight out into space, away from Earth. So basically, the only reason these humans are getting attacked is because of the Rangers, because of them. Um, they have what the monsters want. So again, there's no sense of real threat and danger to the planet, just to its people, because when they don't give them the ninja stars, they want to make the rest of the Earth suffer. So it's again, not much threat. There should be a bigger motive in play, but there's really not. But getting back to this episode, the episode opens with all of the Rangers in school making chocolate sculptures. Chocolate sculptures, really? And it's a hot day, so it's all melting. So the ass clowns Victor and Monty decide, oh, let's put glue in our chocolate sculpture so it hardens better and it won't melt. That's the dumbest idea I ever heard, especially considering they're supposed to be eating the sculptures at the end, which they do. I'll get to that in a second. Uh, Obviously, Victor and Monty's plan backfires as they're pouring the chocolate with the glue into their mold. There's a hole in their mold, and it gets all over. Basically, the entire bucket of chocolate spills onto Victor and hardens right away. I don't care what kind of glue you have and you put in anything, whatever kind of glue it is. No glue dries that fast, especially if you're mixing it with chocolate. So I'm sorry if I have to get irate about this, but it's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen. One of the stupidest. Yeah, I'm not going to go that far. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in a Power Rangers episode. It gets all over Victor. He hardens like a chocolate human statue, and the janitors come in to wheel them away, and they don't even know that he's inside. That it's a human sculpture. That there's actually a human inside this chocolate sculpture. So thankfully, that's the last you see of him until the end of the episode. Pretty much either of them. I think you see Monty looking for them, running around all gaily, looking for him later on. but in a panic. But they don't show him until the very end of the episode. But again, getting back to the plot, the poisonous plot, name of the episode. The teapot monster poisons Brody. They're bartering for the antidote. However, Brody's brother Aiden is training with the rest of the Rangers at their compound, their hideout, whatever you want to call it. And I guess Aiden's getting a little bit too rough for the Gold Ranger's liking, so he basically gets an attitude and says, I guess I play too rough for your friends, and then he walks out. Of course, the Red Ranger Brody is going to put more blame on the Rangers than he is on his brother, considering he thinks he's just reunited with his brother, and he needs to his friends all need to accept him too. But after Brody is poisoned by the monster, Aiden, Brody's brother, is all for just giving up the Power Stars. I'll just give the monsters what they want. That was the first clue right there that I knew that this was not Brody's brother. This is a phony Aiden. He's either a monster in disguise, a shape-shifting monster of some kind. It's not Brody's brother. Trust me. It's all just a facade. It's basically, this proved me right from my speculation from the last episode review that I did, where I said that this was not Brody's brother. There's no way it can be, because they look nothing alike, for one. Two, he seems too happy-go-lucky to want to help, but at the same time, he's got those shifty eyes. So I knew something was up, especially when the Rangers get an idea to basically make chocolate replica ninja power stars, to fool a monster, to give it to them to trade for the antidote, which they do. The antidote does heal Brody, which was a little surprising to me. I thought it'd be like a triple cross of some kind. Like, yeah, they may have tricked them with the chocolate ninja stars, but then the monsters tricked them by it's just water. It's not really the antidote. But no, it was the antidote. Brody's fine. He feels better than ever. They morph. Fight ensues. A really good fight, actually, between the Aka Ninja, or the Red Ninja Steel Ranger, against the Kudobots, which are the minions in this series. Really, really good fight. Fast-paced action. He really whooped some butt. I enjoyed watching that. However, the poisonous teapot monster, apparently it can only poison somebody once every day or something. Its poison has to brew or recharge. It didn't really explain well. So there was no any more threat from that monster with the rest of the Rangers. They were able to defeat it easily. But again, at the very near the I wouldn't say the very near the end of this episode, you see Aiden, his Brody's supposed brother, on the monster ship, talking to the monster, talking to the monster Konoichi with the rabbit face, and and he just starts laughing maniacally. Oh, I've gained their trust, and ha ha ha. So yeah, obviously this is not Aiden. This is not really Brody's brother. My suspicions are going to be well vindicated when we find out that his real brother was the Gold Ranger all along. And speaking of the Gold Ranger, once again, we see the Gold Ranger use his Starburger, or his henshin device from the Japanese version, as a phone. Just as a phone. To take yet another selfie with himself, the Blue Ranger, defeating the monster. And once again, he says, "Say cheeseburger." It's really starting to irk me, considering I'm such a big Gold Ranger fan. It's really starting to get to me. If we're gonna ever see him use the Starburger, his henshin device from the Japanese show, if we're ever gonna see him use it for anything other than just snapping selfies. But again, Brody was healed. We find out Aiden's a traitor, or was never Brody's brother to begin with. And then, of course, the end of the episode, it basically ends with the winner of the chocolate contest, the chocolate sculpture contest at the school, which is, of course, Victor and Monty. But not knowing that the that the chocolate sculpture is actually Victor covered in chocolate, they say, okay, he wins. Okay, kids, time to eat. Bunch of kids just run up and try to eat him. Yeah, terrifying, right? But he, of course, tries to start rocking himself until he falls back and the chocolate breaks and he stands up roaring, like taking a big gasp breath of air, and of course the children run away. Not all the children seemed scared, though, because the two kids in the front had big grins on their faces as they were running away, so those are some poor child actors. So, I'm not even going to mention how ridiculous that whole scene looked. But yeah, and that was pretty much the end. Again, very lackluster. Not a whole lot to say, aside from the Red Ranger fighting, uh, a good fight between the Red Ranger and the Kudobots, and then the Gold Ranger and Blue Ranger finishing the Teapot Monster. That was really it. Not a whole lot of action. Maybe 6-7 minutes worth of action. The rest of it was all talk, exposition, and just lame story that I knew where it was going. I could predict every single step that they were taking. So again, I'm already gonna make another prediction right now. At some point here soon, obviously they're gonna find out that this Aiden is a fake, not his brother, and eventually he'll find out that the Gold Ranger was his brother all along. So, because they do look alike, trust me. If anybody else thinks that the Red Ranger and the Gold Ranger are actually brothers, that this is actually Aiden and he just totally like had lost his memory at some point, feel free to comment below if your predictions of what you think, because I just don't see it happening. I just don't see this rendition of Brody's brother, this phony Aiden. I can't see him just being under control, like possessed, or like being controlled or whatnot. I can't see that happening. They look nothing alike. His brother Aiden looks like an American. Brody himself looks like he's from it looks like he's from India, to be honest, or even somewhere like he could even be from New Zealand. Like he could be half New Zealander, half Middle Eastern. I can't really place his ethnicity. Not that I really should be trying, but when you throw in a plot where you have a missing family member, a lost family member that comes back, you expect them to look a little bit alike. True, am I right? So feel free to comment below what you guys' predictions, what your opinion is. Whether you think the Gold Ranger is really the Red Ranger's brother, or whether you think this phony Aiden is actually Brody's brother Aiden, but he's just being controlled by the monsters and they have to break the spell of some kind. But that was episode 11 of Power Rangers Ninja Steel, Poisonous Plots. Give me strength for the next episode. Hopefully it's going to get better. I know I keep saying that, but I really, really want it to get better. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm crossing everything that I can without it being painful. Obviously, I don't want to tie my dick in a knot or anything like that, just because I'm holding out for something I might see that might actually interest me and make me say, "Oh wow." I don't see that happening anytime soon with this series, folks. So until next time, guys. This is Rangers Ready Go. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. You know the deal.